Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I can't believe we are down towards the last few weeks of December, and it's been a while since we've done a journal with me video, and of course I want to end the year sharing with you some reflections, learnings, and things that have been pivotal in my growth as an artist, author, and creator this year. And also I wanted to share with you some ways you can journal and reflect upon your year-end things. You know, it's that time of the year where things get really chaotic. I personally feel very stressed out, but working on this and actually filming this for you also allowed me to reflect on my own journey and look back at the year that was and give myself permission to acknowledge what I've been feeling and also figure out what I can do based on everything that I've experienced, what I've worked on this year. So I do hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to turn you over to voiceover Abby. We're gonna be a little bit emotional today and like tap into a lot of reflection and thinking about how the year was. So make sure to grab your favorite beverage, your journal, and let's journal together. How does one even begin to reflect on the year that was? These fleeting moments, fragments of time, so mundane yet so profound. This was the year I turned 31, and this was the year I gave myself permission to see what's out there right in front of me, ready for me to take on. Whether it's an adventure, the life that I have always envisioned myself to have, and the little things that add up as the days go by. Each frame, each line feels like a testament to a life lived fully. And it's in these mundane things, the quiet moments, that life slowly reveals itself to me. I can't believe it's been quite a year, and I've put all of my memories and moments documented in the pages of my journals. 2024 was the year that I also made sure to record every single thing that I wanted to remember, whether that's through my journal pages, through these videos, through photos, and all the ways I could perfectly capture these moments and remind myself that I've always wanted to be this version of myself. That's not to say it has always been great. There's always been highs and lows, but the journey that has brought me here has definitely gave me reason to keep going and to keep asking what else is in store as another year comes to a close and the new year is coming soon. For this particular year-ender reflection journal spread, I really wanted to center around the patterns that I discovered and key things that happened throughout each month. So one of the things I wanted to print out was actually my photo of the shoot I did for my Skillshare class. I don't know, I really liked that photo. It felt like something candid, something nice to put on my journal spread. I usually don't use my portraits or anything, but I thought it would be nice to kind of just put it as a way to commemorate the year and to cap it off. So I'm using a bunch of stationery that are kind of relevant to how I feel about reflection and also the color scheme that I'm going for, I like to use my usual. So these ones are stickers that I have in my stash. One of my friends, Monica, gave me the sunflower sticker and I really liked it. And the Write Your Own Story sticker is actually from a mail that I provided for Patreon this year. And I was thinking a lot about how I wanted to create this spread. Is it going to be super detailed? Is it going to be keywords or something to summarize every month? And then I was like, maybe I should just figure out what the first thing comes to mind when I recap every month that was. And that's not to say that it's not important to remember every single thing that happened, but you don't have to like flesh out the entire year and try to make sense of it. I think as it goes along, you just kind of make sense of how you feel about it. At least for me, that's how I interpret these memories and moments. And so on the left-hand side, I'm just decorating the journal page and starting to figure out how to organize the months because there are 12. And I was like, okay, how do I connect both pages? So I used this Berlin washi tape that I designed to connect it from the left page to the right page. The word there is actually means art. Kunst is art. And I'm just slowly stamping in my clear stamps and figuring out how I want to put together the elements on the page. The theme here is more like reflection, remembering moments. And so all of the stationery items that I picked out were kind of in that realm. I like picking them out and putting them in a basket, as you noticed earlier, because it's easier for me to just find these elements and not have to constantly look through my stash and figure out what else I could add. It's kind of like a wardrobe, a capsule wardrobe, I would say. And for the month stickers, these are from my stash from a while back, but they're from a local brand in the Philippines called 𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘 And you can do something similar, or you can actually just write it down, or if you have number stickers or stamps, that's also a great way to kind of put together the months. As you can see, there's also not much space for every month because I wanted to really refer back to my previous journal pages and then also kind of form a summary of every single month without having to go deep into it. At the end of the day, what I wanted this spread to be is when I look back, maybe like 5 years from now, and I look through this spread, I figure out what happened during that year in a very top line summary way. And I don't want to dive deep into like worrying about like, oh, I didn't talk about this, I didn't do that. So that's how I kind of want to do it. I want to say that this year was really, really interesting. I don't think I've ever had a year that I could compare similarly to this year. Every year I always say that I become a wiser version of myself. I know better. I also have learned to constantly protect my peace and learn how to let go of things that no longer serve me. But apart from that, there's something to be said about being able to sit down and have this moment of reflection with yourself, thinking about the days that have gone and how they can inform your the present moment that you're in, and also the future. I've always been that person who's always like dreaming of the future and hoping that the future is better. But I don't know, for some reason, like this year was the year that I was like, I'm happy to be where I am right now. I'd love to be somewhere else. Not literally, but like figuratively in the next years. But right now, I just would like to sit in this feeling and remind myself how I got here and that it all turned out pretty good, because last year was really a horrible year for me and I don't want to dive deep into that. But this year kind of the tables have turned really drastically, and I think I really dove in head first and told myself that I'm gonna take all the shots. I'm gonna try everything that I can to really hone my potential, really put myself out there, and give myself permission to do all those things without anyone asking why. And that in itself is very hard because I've always been hypercritical of myself, and I'm very judgy with how I think about myself. So that was also an exercise in self-acceptance and self-compassion, and giving myself a treating myself in a more gentle way, I would say. And that's really, really important if you'd like to maintain a nice emotional and stable state with yourself. Before we continue, this video is brought to you by Skillshare. Skillshare is the largest online learning community for creatives with thousands of classes led by industry professionals across film, illustration, design, freelance, productivity, and more. Skillshare can help you take your career, skills, hobbies, passions, or side hustles to the next level. As we wrap up another creative year, I've been thinking more intentionally about how to set goals for the coming year, and at the same time reflect on the year that was, in order for me to have a better idea on how I can plan for the future. And so I would like to share a couple of Skillshare classes that you might find useful as we welcome the new year and close out 2024. Jules Acri has this class called Chaos to Calm, Google Calendar Workshops for Creatives, set up for the year ahead. If you're feeling overwhelmed with your schedule, especially as we have this kind of gap between like Christmas and New Year, and it's usually this time where it's like, what do I do? And you wanna slowly welcome in the new year, then this is a great way for you to set yourself up for success and be able to ease into the new year. If you're feeling extra creative, I highly recommend checking out Jamie Smith's class, Inspiration to Reality, Make a Vision Board for Your Goals. It's such a great way to really set aside time and also think about the life you aspire to have and also put it together in a board. I actually had vision board this year and it's in digital format, so I used it as my background wallpaper. I also used it as the cover of, like, when you open my journal, it's the first thing that you see. I think it's nice to be reminded of what you want to work towards. I will link these classes down below if you'd like to have a look and bookmark it and watch the classes. The first 500 people to click the link in my description will get a month's free trial of Skillshare. Thank you once again, Skillshare, for sponsoring this video, and now let's continue. Believe it or not, this year was the first year that I actually managed to finish an entire 𝚒𝚘𝚘𝚔. Like, I journaled every day. Like, I filled up every single page. And it came to an advantage because now I can flip through these pages and write out my monthly summaries. So January was really heavy for me. I turned 31 and I also booked an impulsive trip to New York for a week, which was great, but also not great because it was kind of the dead of winter and I was having this like breakdown and not really knowing what I want in life. It was weird. But I think that also happens every time I celebrate my birthday. And I also didn't know how to move forward given that information. February was a bit more chill, but also it was very gray. It was my second year anniversary moving to Berlin, which was crazy because time really do be flying so fast. I think as every month passes, I'm also able to figure out how I'm able to navigate life as it happens. Like, March was nice because I was in Manila. I was enjoying my time there, and it was nice to take a break from work for a bit and be with family because the first half of the year was surprisingly uneventful, and it was more about like gearing up and preparing mentally and physically and emotionally for the very busy summer I was gonna have. Early this year actually, I already knew that I was gonna spend at least a month in the US. So that was really, to be honest, until now, I'm still like, it's really tiring. And I really made sure to not burn myself out. Hopefully I didn't. But the second half of the year really like everything felt so sped up. And I really wanted to find a way to breathe in the middle of all the chaos that was happening. I mean, it's all great. It's just very busy and I'm chronically an introverted person. I like to protect my peace. I like to have my quiet time. So when August rolled around, that was really a lot of mental prep for me with all the socials, which was great. I love spending time with people I really like hanging out with. And I think what I found interesting was summer is always the month that I kind of peak at work and like in everything in between. Like, I get to do more activities. I also did a lot of workouts. Like, this was the year that I really said, I'm gonna be working out every single week, at least 3 times a week. It was fun. I actually wrote it here on my big wins. Consistent workout schedule. I also let go of friendships that no longer serve me because life happens, people come and go, and that's how it is. And, you know, I also cooked a lot this year. I think that's something to be celebrated because I really learned to enjoy being in the kitchen again after a while. But that's to say, like, the last few months of the year have been really busy as well, and I didn't know how to make sense of that until the season just started to change and it became really cold. You know, Berlin's known for its gray winters, so autumn was great. I think in hindsight, the year really went by so fast. I wouldn't have had it any other way, but I also am reminded of how things are good and that I should be able to appreciate that feeling and give myself space to say, oh, you know, I really worked on myself this year and I really made sure that I could be this version of myself and be happy with that fact, and to be more open with where life takes me after this memorable year. You know, what could 2025 bring? So here are some close-ups of the final journal spread. Thank you so much for journaling with me, and I hope you come up with a similar idea or have gotten ideas on how to do your year-end recap through this video. I also have a journaling wrap video over on Patreon if you'd like to see a more in-depth view of my 𝚒𝚘𝚘𝚔 pages, where I walk you through the year as I recap it and as I documented it this 2024. So I hope you enjoyed this reflective journal with me video. Every time I think of the word reflection, I'm always thinking about Mulan singing Reflection. As a Mulan girly, but I definitely want to take this time to thank you for being part of this journey with me. I know I say it a lot, and I just wanted to say it again because this thing that I've been doing, I can't believe I've been doing this for almost a decade now, and it's because of your support that I'm able to really explore my creativity and be able to find ways on how to help you document your days, your life, your travels. And one thing I want to share is my Skillshare class. Yes, I'm finally working on my Skillshare class. It will be available starting January 11th over on Skillshare. So if you haven't yet, make sure to follow me as a teacher over on Skillshare. I'll put my link down below as well. I want to know how your year went. Maybe give me like 5 emojis to tell me what your year was in emojis. I'll probably put mine here on the screen so you can like have a basis. I like it because it's like no context, but you can kind of get it. I think in hindsight, I was so scared coming into 2024. I'm turning 32 in like 2 weeks, like a few days after my Skillshare class goes live, and it'll be interesting to see how I navigate this part of my life because there's just so many things that I've been thinking about, so many dreams, so many goals, and I'm learning to really be more open to seeing how things go. And I'm also giving myself a lot of room to really sit with how I feel and also really say no to things that no longer matter to me. You'll see that when I was journaling earlier that there are a lot of parts where I was like, wow, I really stopped doing a certain thing and then I really did something to protect my peace. And these are things that I know are easier said than done, but also it takes a lot of guts and courage to tell myself to be able to do. So I hope you are able to do that as well. I know we all come from different backgrounds, but I love how we can all connect through journaling and planning and making sure our lives are documented on the pages of our journal. I'm looking forward to sharing with you my 𝚋𝚘𝚘𝚔, so that's coming up soon. I do have a separate video of planners and journals just so I could like differentiate both of them. I also realized I never talk about planning as much as I want to, so I've dedicated a video for that. But for now, I leave you to think about your 2024 year-end things, and I hope you have a lovely holiday ahead, and also get some rest, relax, hydrate. Make sure to rest in between socializing, because I feel you, it's a lot of socializing at this time of the year. Always be creating. I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.